As most of you saw in the last video, we ended up putting a real set of tires on the Rubicon 392. We put the Yokohama Geolandar XMTs. These are 40 by 1550s on the same 20 by 12 XD wheels. But now we have the 38 1550s off the Mickey Thompson Baja Bosses, and we're gonna get some new wheels and put those old tires on the Bronco Raptor. So I've got the new wheels all strapped up. I've already got the tires at the store. So we'll go there. I'll do an alignment today and we'll put the new wheels and tires on. I think it's gonna look awesome, but we got to work all day first. So we're about to go ahead and pull the Bronco Raptor in and do the alignment, get all that straight, because the tires are wearing pretty bad in the front right now. We'll get that straight first, and then we'll go ahead and throw on the new wheels and tires. I've already got the tires over there in the corner. Chase on Wheels is getting the alignment dialed in. So this fancy machine here makes it really easy, but it is kind of hard with the bigger tires. So I wanted to get the alignment done first with the small tires on it. That way, you know, it's actually done, because once we put the big tires on, you really can't do it on this machine. So we do have the new wheels here for the Bronco. You're going to be pretty familiar with this wheel. And the Rock Treks did us really well that are on it. I mean, they did great, but they just don't make anything the size that's going to run these 38 1550s the way I like to. So I had to go with a set of XDs. And you might be thinking, what XDs even look cool? Because to be fair, I'm not a fan of most XD wheels anymore. I decided to go with a wheel that I already know what it looks like. Yes, I got the exact same wheel for the Bronco that we have on the Rubicon 392 already. Obviously, it's just the 6x135 bolt pattern. And while it's in, we're also getting a little oil change action done on this thing. So we're just now getting the first wheel and tire on for the Bronco. And I just wanted to show you guys this. The hub bore matches absolutely perfectly with the cutout on these wheels. So that's a great sign. So after just getting the first one mounted up, you can tell the offset there. It looks much better without the wheel adapter sticking out another 2 inches. Versus this with this is a 17 by 9 -12 offset on a 37 1250 versus the 20 by 12 -44 offset, 4.5 back spacing with the 38 1550. Looks so much better. Now the wheels are all installed, and I've got to say, it has changed the look tremendously. It looks like a completely different vehicle. So much better than it did before, and so much better than it did with a similar setup, basically the same setup, but with the wheel adapters that stuck it out another 2 inches. So I absolutely love the look of this machine right now. We are going to have to clean up those tires a little bit. Makes those wheels stand out too much since they're brand new. Now, I did put one of my other tires as the spare just to change it up from the factory. I think it goes with it a little bit better. But we are rubbing just a hair, and I knew we would on this front bumper right here. It's really an irrelevant amount of rub. If you are almost at full lock, it'll barely just graze this. So I think what I'll do is actually just trim it down, because I do need this mounting location for the Baja Bull Bar, and it's only hitting like right here at full flex. It may rub up here. So we probably will just go ahead and cut it from where the mount is down like that, and we won't have any issues. So that won't be a problem at all. But for now, let's see what kind of flex we can get on this little mound. But before we do that, I've got to introduce you guys to today's sponsor, Wolfbox. For those of you that don't already know Wolfbox, they make some amazing products in the technology space that can really help us out on the kind of vehicles that we have. Now, essentially what this is a rear view mirror camera, dash cam, all in one. The front camera is 4K, rear is 2.5K, and the bumper cam is 1080p. And as you can see, this is the unit itself that goes right on top of your rear view mirror. So hopefully you guys have seen the build series where we're fixing up the Camaro, but essentially with the way that it's lifted now, I can't see any traffic unless it's a big truck behind me. The Camaro already has really poor visibility, but whenever you lift it, apparently it gets worse. So I think this product is going to be the perfect fit for the Camaro to maybe make this a little bit more drivable and way safer. Some high points you should know: of course, it's got that super high quality camera, front, rear, and for the bumper, but it's also got voice control, it's got Wi-Fi, GPS, and it is a massive 12-inch touchscreen. Now, I'm not going to bore you guys with the entire installation process, but it is pretty straightforward. It's going to work on pretty much any rear view mirror, and it's got different size straps. That way you can strap it down on just about any mirror that you can think of. So as you can see here, I can click through what we want to see. If we want to see just one screen, we can do that. Obviously, I don't have these cameras set up right. If you want to start recording, you just press the button. That's too easy. And then you can take a picture, you can lock it. So now that we know it actually works, let's get all these wires tucked, get the cameras put in the right spots, and go from there. Well, now we've got it all installed, got the wires ran and tucked nicely. Now, of course, the first camera location is the dash cam right there. And then I also mounted a backup camera back here, so it gives me a better view from a better angle. And then probably my favorite camera, I actually mounted up front here. So now we have like a trail camera on the Camaro, and that is something I really needed to be able to see what is down here. So as you can tell, here is our rear facing camera, our front facing camera, and then our dash cam. Now right off the bat here, I can tell you there is no lag. It is super crisp and super clear here, and it's showing everything I want to see. And the speedometer is actually correct on this. Now, as you can see, the front trail cam there is going to be super helpful whenever we're going on our little off-roading trips in the Camaro. Well, a huge thank you to Wolfbox for sending out this awesome display for us to add to the Camaro. If you guys are interested in getting one for yourself for an amazing price, check them out down in the link in the description below. Now let's get back to the Bronco. So pretty much a perfect tuck in the back. Just enough clearance there. Now it will rub if we go a little bit crazier, but obviously you guys know I don't mind to rip off my fenders, and it's not even fully tucked in the front there. So that is with the sway bar disconnected. That will be just fine off-road, and I may get the lift collars, but we have plenty of travel with these tires. They're only just a little bit taller. Well, after driving it for just a little bit of time, we're definitely going to need to trim that bumper cap. I really wanted to remove it, but whenever you remove it on the Bronco Raptors, it takes out your fog lights, it takes out everything. It basically ends right there and comes across and goes down there if you take out the end cap. Similar as to how we did on the Rubicon 392, it just comes off a lot more clean and you still retain the functionality of your fog lights. Now, I let my girlfriend drive this for literally one day before I trimmed it up, and I said, do not turn all the way, it'll rub. And what do you know? It took massive gouges out of this whenever she was turning in a parking lot. And not only did it get a couple lugs, she got it all the way around. So these lugs are literally going to start to disintegrate. It's a good thing they're on the Mickey Thompsons, because if this was on another tire, these tires would literally be useless right after. These lugs are pretty tough, but I mean, took out a solid, 4 seconds out of all these lugs on both sides. So obviously it does rub. So let's trim up that bumper to see if we can get the clearance that we need. So I've got the rough cuts done now. This is actually enough clearance for full lock and forward. In reverse, we're still hitting just a little bit, and at full flex, we're actually rubbing a little bit too, going forward. Now, as you can see right here, I've got it cut down. I even cut the brackets back here, but that's really about as much as you can cut and get away with. Now, of course, we're gonna go over it later and make it look pretty. I just wanted to see how much clearance we could actually get, but this is pretty much maxed out for what we can do and still retain the fog lights. So to retain the fog lights, I think we're just gonna lift it. Now, the suspension is so nice on the Bronco Raptor, I really don't want to mess it up and have to run aftermarket suspension. So the absolute best solution to still be able to maintain that awesome ride quality and the capabilities off-road without spending an arm and a leg is the RPG lift collars. Now, with the Broncos and the Raptors I've been selling in the past, so many of them have the lift collars whenever I sell them pre-owned. If they've got any lift on Raptor, 9 times out of 10, it's an RPG lift collar. These things are super tough, and I was fortunate enough to reach out to them, and they were able to send these out to me to show you guys how you can install them at your house. So for these, I got 2.25 inch for the front and the rear. That should actually eliminate the front rake that we have On the Bronco Raptors, they come with a little bit of a front rake, so this should fix it. Now, of course, a huge thank you to RPG Offroad for sending out this awesome stuff for us to install. As you can see here, the lift collars that we got are actually the same orange as the Bronco Raptor stuff, so it's going to look perfect and really match up great. I love the American flag on here, and it should be a relatively simple install. Now, they look about the same for the front and the rear, but what you're going to notice is the front, the lift collar is going to go on the bottom, and for the rear, I believe the lift collar is going to go on the top. Now, I've seen people install these lift collars quite a few different ways, but I'm going to try the easiest method first and see if we can get it done that way. Well, it's gotten super late on me tonight. It's already 12 o'clock. I messed up so much on that it took me forever. Well, now it's the next day, and we're going to go ahead and tackle the rest of the Bronco as long as we've got enough time. It's already 7:55. I'm not going to stay out here all night long, but at least now that we know how to get it taken care of, it should be quite a bit simpler, so we're going to start on the front. Well, now that we've got both sides of the front done, you can definitely tell how big of a difference this is already making. And here is a look from the other side. Obviously, that 2.25 inches makes a pretty apparent difference. It is crazy to see how much clearance we have up front. Now, just doing a quick little test, pushing on the suspension here, you can definitely tell it's a lot stiffer. So that should stiffen up the ride a little bit on the road, which will be good, and it's still going to have plenty of travel. It's still going to have plenty of movement. It should work out great. But as you can tell, it's a little bit higher in the front than it was in the back and what it is in the back currently. And I kind of want to drive it like this to see how that suspension is going to feel, being a little stiffer in the front, softer in the rear. The rear does have a little bit more travel as well. And just from looking at it here, we're definitely going to add the 2.25 in the rear as well. But I do want to test it out first. But until I get that garage door spring fixed, I'm not going to be able to pull this thing out. But that's where we're going to have to end it off for today's video. I have to go ahead and edit tonight to be able to release it tomorrow. And we've still got to fix the garage door before I can drive it like this. I do want to test it out with just the front lift installed to see how that stiffer suspension in the front only feels with the factory suspension in the rear. Also want to test out that rake to see how much it actually is once it settles. But in the next video, we'll be diving in deep with the RPG lift collars in the rear. Then we'll actually take it out on the road to see how it drives and feels. Aside from that, we'll also be taking it off-road a little bit to test it out, see how the articulation feels, and maybe test it out on some jumps. A huge thank you to RPG for sending out this awesome kit for us to install and test out on the Bronco. And another huge thank you to Wolfbox for sponsoring today's video. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see next. But until then, Godspeed.